In this video, we will explore the shocking truth about money that the bank doesn't want you to know. You'll discover the secrets behind the fractional reserve banking system and how banks create money out of thin air. You'll also learn about the hidden interest charges that banks add to loans and how being in debt can be profitable for the bank. We'll uncover the alarming reality that banks have the power to control the money supply and manipulate the economy, and the risk of having your money confiscated by the bank. You don't want to miss this video that will empower you with knowledge and arm you with the tools to take control of your finances. Get ready to learn the truth about money that the bank doesn't want you to know. Hey there everyone, it's your host Mike, and I'm thrilled to have you back on my channel. Today, we're diving into the world of money and revealing the hidden truths that the bank doesn't want you to know. We all know that money plays a crucial role in our lives, yet the bank keeps certain crucial facts hidden from us. That's where this video comes in. We'll be taking a deep dive into the inner workings of the banking system, and you'll learn about the shocking secrets they don't want you to know. It's time to take control of your finances, arm yourself with knowledge, and understand what's really going on behind the scenes. So get ready to be empowered as we explore the truth about money that the bank doesn't want you to know. Let's jump in. The bank creates money out of thin air. Are you ready for a mind-blowing fact about money? Brace yourself, because here it is: banks can create money out of thin air. That's right, you heard it correctly. Banks have the power to create money that didn't exist before. When you take out a loan from a bank, they don't give you money from their vaults. Instead, they create new money by simply adding numbers to your account. This process is called fractional reserve banking. It may sound like magic, but it's actually a well-established banking practice. Banks only need to keep a small fraction of the total amount of money they lend out in their reserves. The rest can be created out of thin air. This means that when you take out a loan, you're not borrowing someone else's money. You're borrowing money that the bank created specifically for you. So why doesn't the bank want you to know this? Because it's a bit of a shocker, to say the least. Most people assume that banks can only lend out the money that they have on hand. But in reality, banks can create as much money as they want, as long as they follow the regulations set by the government. This power can be dangerous if it's not used responsibly. Now you might be wondering how banks get away with creating money out of thin air. The answer is simple: trust. We trust that the money in our bank accounts is real and can be used to buy goods and services. As long as everyone continues to trust that the money is real, the system works. But if people lose faith in the system, things can quickly go south. The fact that banks can create money out of thin air is a fascinating and somewhat alarming revelation. It's important to understand how money works so that we can make informed decisions about our finances. So the next time you go to the bank to take out a loan, remember that the money you're borrowing may not have existed before the bank created it just for you. The bank charges you interest on money that they created. Did you know that when you take out a loan from a bank, you not only have to pay back the money you borrowed, but you also have to pay back interest on that money? And here's the kicker: the bank is charging you interest on money that they created out of thin air. That's right, the bank is making a profit on money that never even existed in the first place. It's a bit of a head-scratcher, but let's break it down. When you take out a loan, the bank creates new money by simply adding numbers to your account. They don't actually have to lend you physical money. So when you're paying back the loan, you're paying back money that was essentially created out of thin air. But to make matters worse, the bank is also charging you interest on that money. This means that you're essentially paying the bank for the privilege of borrowing money that they created out of nothing. It's like paying rent on something that you never actually owned. And to add insult to injury, the interest rates can often be quite high, making it even more difficult for borrowers to pay back their loans. So why doesn't the bank want you to know this? Well, for starters, it's not exactly a great selling point for their loan products. But beyond that, it's a bit of a shady practice. It's one thing for a bank to charge interest on money that they actually have, but it's another thing entirely to charge interest on money that they created out of thin air. But don't worry, there are ways to avoid falling victim to this sneaky practice. One option is to pay off your loans as quickly as possible, so you're not accruing interest for longer than necessary. Another option is to look into alternative lenders who may not engage in this practice. In conclusion, it's important to be aware of the fact that banks can charge you interest on money that they created out of thin air. It's a somewhat baffling practice, but it's one that can have a significant impact on your finances. So next time you're considering taking out a loan, remember to read the fine print and understand exactly what you're getting yourself into. The bank makes more money when you're in debt. Banks have a dirty little secret that they don't want you to know. They actually make more money when you're in debt. It's a somewhat sinister side of the banking industry that many people don't fully understand. So, how does it work? When you take out a loan, you're required to pay interest on the amount that you borrowed. This interest is essentially the bank's profit for loaning you the money. But here's the kicker. The longer you're in debt, the more interest you have to pay, and the more profit the bank makes. This means that the bank actually has an incentive to keep you in debt for as long as possible. They don't want you to pay off your loan quickly because that means they'll make less money. Instead, they want you to keep making payments for years and years, racking up interest and lining their pockets in the process. And it's not just loans that are affected by this phenomenon. Credit card debt is a huge moneymaker for banks as well. When you carry a balance on your credit card, you're charged interest on that balance every month. This interest can quickly add up, meaning that the longer you're in debt, the more money the bank makes off of you. So, why doesn't the bank want you to know about this? Well, for starters, it's not exactly ethical. Banks are supposed to be helping people manage their finances, not profiting off of their debt. But beyond that, it's not a great look for the industry as a whole. So what can you do to avoid falling into this trap? The best thing you can do is to pay off your debts as quickly as possible. The less time you spend in debt, the less money the bank can make off of you. Another option is to look for alternative lenders who may have more ethical practices when it comes to lending. It's important to be aware of the fact that banks make more money when you're in debt. It's a somewhat unsettling reality, but it's one that we all need to be aware of in order to make smart financial decisions. So next time you're considering taking out a loan or using your credit card, remember to read the fine print and understand exactly what you're getting yourself into. The bank controls the money supply. Did you know that the bank has the power to control the money supply? That's right, they have the ability to create new money by making loans, and they can also destroy money by calling in loans. This level of control is not just unsettling, it's downright scary. Imagine a world where the bank controls the amount of money in circulation. They can create as much or as little as they want, and they can use this power to manipulate the economy to their advantage. For example, they could create a surge in the housing market by making it easier for people to get mortgages, or they could cause a recession by calling in loans and reducing the amount of money in circulation. The fact that banks have so much power over the economy is a major cause for concern. It means that they can essentially dictate the direction of the market and make decisions that benefit themselves rather than the general public. But why doesn't the bank want you to know about this? Well, for starters, it's not exactly something that they want to advertise. It's not a great look for the industry if people start to realize just how much power the bank has over their lives. So what can you do to protect yourself from this level of control? Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot you can do as an individual. The best thing you can do is to educate yourself about the banking industry and the economy as a whole. This will help you make informed decisions about your finances and give you a better understanding of how the system works. It's a level of power that is not to be taken lightly, and it's something that we all need to be aware of in order to make smart financial decisions. So, the next time you're thinking about taking out a loan or making a major financial decision, remember to consider the implications of the bank's control over the money supply. The bank can confiscate your money. Have you ever thought about what would happen if your bank account was frozen or your money was confiscated? It's not something that most people like to think about, but the truth is that it can happen, and it's something that the bank doesn't want you to know. That's right, the bank has the power to confiscate your money if the government orders them to do so. This means that if you have any money in your bank account, it's not entirely under your control. In some cases, the bank can even freeze your account, which means that you won't be able to access your money at all. This level of control over your finances is not just scary, it's downright dangerous. It means that the bank has the power to take your hard-earned money at any time without your consent. But why doesn't the bank want you to know about this? Well, for starters, it's not exactly good for business. If people knew that their money wasn't entirely under their control, they might be less likely to use banks and more likely to keep their money in cash or other forms of currency. So what can you do to protect yourself from having your money confiscated or frozen? The best thing you can do is to stay informed about your rights as a bank account holder. Make sure that you know what the bank can and can't do with your money, and be prepared to take action if necessary. In conclusion, it's important to be aware of the fact that the bank has the power to confiscate your money. It's a level of control that is not to be taken lightly, and it's something that we all need to be prepared for. So the next time you're thinking about putting your money in a bank account, remember to consider the implications of the bank's control over your finances. So guys, these were the 5 things that the bank doesn't want you to know. Money is a complicated subject, and there are a lot of things that we don't know about it. It's important to educate ourselves about money so that we can make informed decisions. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please hit the like button and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.